Hey guys, and welcome to our first launch of the Empowered Clique online call. Tonight, we're really excited to be launching this because the intention behind the Empowered Clique is really to bring women together. But these online calls are designed to create a platform for all of us as women to talk about different topics. So this week's topic, we're talking about self-love. And if you were at our brunch a couple of weeks ago, you would know that that was kind of the hot topic that kept arising. And we thought, you know what, we need to bring this to the table. We need to start talking about this more openly and more vulnerably as women, and not be afraid to say, hey, I'm struggling, or hey, I'm not doing so well, and I don't take care of myself. You know, where do I begin? How do I do that? Because sometimes it just feels so overwhelming. So we want to use this online call is a platform for all of us to open our hearts and share really vulnerably about where we've come from and where we're hoping to go and where we are going. But yeah, this is really a platform for all women to share their feelings openly in a safe environment, to talk about self-love without any judgment, and to leave this call feeling empowered and know what daily rituals you can take to create daily steps towards self-love and really accepting yourself and knowing that you're enough. So at the end of the call, we're going to be giving away a beautiful free gift, and we would love to know what you think of that after implementing the self-love rituals after a couple of days and a couple of weeks. So I'm going to get started straight into Chloe, your story. Is that what? Yeah. So you're unmuted. So this is the beautiful Chloe. Sorry I didn't introduce myself. My name's Caitlin. Chloe, Carly and I started the Empowered Clique, and Chloe is also one of the founders. So Chloe, share your story about self-love and kind of how's this journey taken you to where we are today?
No worries. Thank you. Hello all. So can you hear me? Oh yeah, there it is. It wasn't outlining me, so I wasn't too sure. So basically a bit about my story obviously starts back to my childhood, which is really where everyone's story starts and where they start to obviously suffer with, limiting beliefs and self-worth issues. So for me, going through my school years, I just remember feeling like I never fit in. I always felt like I was the outsider. Like I had friends, but no matter what, I always felt like they were all really cliquey and I was the one that left out. And I always had myself questioning, like, why am I not good enough? Why don't they want to spend time with me? Like, what is it about me that they don't like? Why, basically. So that pretty much was through primary school, along through high school, the same kind of thing. Through high school, it obviously got worse when you're dealing with teenagers. People used to obviously call me a lot of names, think that I was, a skank and a slut, and I got named everything, but I was someone who did not sleep around. That wasn't who I was or how I kind of, I valued myself, and I wasn't that kind of person, but yet I still got called all these names. I would get prank calls to my house telling me that I was going to get my head bashed in, and, rumors spread around the school. And basically we all know what high school is like and how everyone has their group, you're in your little groups. I got kicked out of the group that I was in. They no longer wanted to be my friends. I had no one. And that was a really hard time. Like I found myself in the toilet at high school just crying and not wanting to go to school. And through that stage, I just stopped going to school a lot. I was in bed feeling really lonely. And obviously coming out of high school, I did start feeling, the same. Like I lost all of my friends through high school. And as I gotten older, I did find a little group, like a group of friends that I obviously connected with. And, we had our whole party stage and whatever. But through that stage, there was still this Chloe that was just suffering so badly. I abused my body. I would just basically drink myself, every weekend to just really numb the pain of what I was really dealing with. And it's so funny that on the outside, no one ever noticed that because of my personality. It comes across very strong, very bubbly, very confident, but there was an underlying issue that no one knew that I was actually dealing with. And this is when it obviously came to me suffering with an eating disorder, which, still to this day, like I was speaking to my partner the other day and I said, he didn't know what I was going through. No one actually knew what the Chloe on the inside was dealing with every single day, waking up and crying in the mirror every day, feeling like no one understood me and this was going to be the rest of my life. So basically, that's how it was. And yeah, my eating disorder really controlled my life. I was suffering with irritable bowel syndrome as well. So it was just basically a conflict of this whole body image issue. And until I met Caitlin and we started this journey together, we realized that we were so similar, and we're not the only ones that have gone through this. But yet, you know, back then I did feel like I was the only one, until Caitlin opened up vulnerably as well. And that's when we knew we had to make this movement. We had to do something. We had to bring women together to know that they're not alone and they can share their stories. And yeah, that's obviously where we'll chat about later, the little gift at the end on, you know, what I've done to overcome this and be the best version of myself and love myself wholeheartedly with the cellulite, the imperfections, everything. And it's not easy, it's hard work, but when you work at it every single day, I can tell you it is worth it.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Can we just get a raise of hands? Can anyone relate with Chloe's story, whether it's a little bit or a lot of that story? It's just incredible. Like once Chloe said, you know, once we connected and we were like, this is my story and this is my story, we're like, well, we're telling each other the same things. You know, it might be different the way it came out, but it was the same way that we were made to feel, whether it was going through school or workplaces. So beautiful, Carly, would you like to share a little bit about your story as well?
Of course. So can everyone hear me?
Yeah.
Not coming up. Okay, so my issues also started from a young age, a little bit like Chloe's, but in primary school I was classed as the fat kid. So not so much, you know, teased socially, it was just body image. I was placed in that you're the fat kid, and I was put in the corner. And then it got to a point also when I was just leaving primary school into high school, I was actually teased by the teachers as well. Not so much with body image exactly, but also saying that I was dumb and I would never make high school. So I already had that confident low, like my confidence was so low from primary school heading into high school. Without going too much into high school, because it's very much like Chloe's, I want to fast forward a few years and to my most recent all-time low. So 2 years ago, I had an accident at work, and my work was like my thing. I felt super confident. I felt worthy. It was my place of happiness. Like it's, you know, that's where I felt like I was needed. So I worked my ass off, but I pretty much worked myself to the ground where I had a workplace accident. And from there, I actually crushed and amputated one of my fingers. So I was left out of work for probably a month. And then when I came back, they ripped my job from me. I wasn't allowed to do that job anymore. Also, I had a fear of going back onto the tools because I had a manual labour job working with cranes, and that's how it happened. And from there, like, just literally felt everything was ripped from me. My independence, I didn't feel worthy. All those feelings of a child started coming back, of feeling stupid because I was put into a position where I wasn't using my brain. I had someone watching over me 24/7 and checking up on me. So it just felt like this really shitty position. And then from there, I was just, my anxiety levels heightened. Obviously, I couldn't exercise anymore. So then that body image that I had when I was a child started creeping up on me because I was already getting to that depressive stage. And then I fell pregnant as well on top of that, which in most cases, everyone thinks pregnancy, oh my God, it's an amazing thing. So like I was in a relationship and I'm in a long-term relationship, so I should have been excited, but I wasn't. It was that fear because I was already so depressed from the accident and from being out of work, wasn't working full-time anymore. I didn't feel worthy. My weight was already stacking on, and I just didn't think financially, mentally, or anything I could do it. So I went through, and I still, obviously I've had the baby. I've got a 12-month-old now, or 15-month-old now, and I love him to bits, and I've overcome that, still getting there, but still, you know, overcoming a lot of it. But that feeling of being everything ripped out was just horrible. So yeah, it literally took probably, I still worked up until 4 days before having my son. So I still worked myself to the ground because I felt like the only thing I could do was ignore it and just keep working. Because if I didn't do that, I would be sitting down and thinking and letting my thoughts overcome and get more depressed. And then it come to, I had Harper and I seen all Chloe's posts and I noticed them and I thought, you know what, I'm going to reach out to her. And I did. And that's when I noticed the community and everyone around and everyone having their stories of backgrounds of not having the self-love they should, and all similar stories but different. And it was amazing to feel like you could open up and connect with people that are like-minded. So that's pretty much me.
Yeah, it's freaking amazing. And can anyone agree with some of that story of Carly's as well, you know, relate to some of that? So when we talk about self-love, a lot of the stuff that comes up is when you dig deeper into the story of where, you know, why don't we feel that we completely love ourselves? And when we talk about self-love, it's about acceptance. It's about knowing that we're enough. It's knowing that we are here on earth because we have a purpose. We have a vision and a purpose and something to achieve while we're here in this lifetime. So when there's certain stages through life, you may feel anxious. Anxiety comes from fear of the future, and depression comes from fear of the past. So people who suffer from depression, it's normally something that's happened in their past and they keep reliving that story over and over again. Where anxiety is a little bit different. It's about fear of what's going to happen next, what's up and coming, what's going to happen tomorrow, how am I going to feel, how am I going to look, how am I going to be judged? And that, you know, depending on your story and where you've come from and, you know, your background, the anxiety or depression might be so different for every single person. But knowing that you can get a grip on that and that there's something you can do in just, first of all, just knowing that being present and being still in the moment is one of the most amazing things you can do. So as I said, anxiety and depression is fear and past. Being present in the moment, and this is why meditation is so important, when you're being present and you're just breathing deeply, you cannot allow, in that space of meditation, there is no way that your body physiologically, can't say that word, can allow in the past or the present because you're, the past or the future because you're being present. So it only allows in that one space. So in talking about all of this with Carly and Chloe, I thought, you know what, I'm going to look up some stats and find out some stats about what is going on with anxiety and depression and self-love, and why is our society lacking so much of that? And on the Beyond Blue website, it says that 14.5% of women in a controlled group that they had a selected group of women, 14.5% of women between the ages of 18 and 24 years old had the highest rates of distress, anxiety, and depression to any other group in the time frame of 2017 and 2018. Now, would you say that the age group between 18 and 24 is crucial to social media? Right? And this is kind of where it ties back to, you know, why are we comparing ourselves to someone on Instagram, someone on Facebook? You know, oh, that person has such a perfect life. You don't know the shit that goes on behind those, behind that screen, behind those doors. You don't know, you know, how much effort that person took to get ready that morning to look beautiful in that one photo, but really they're miserable inside. And I think the most important thing that us women can remember is that the person you see on social media may not be the person behind closed doors. So when someone looks really beautiful or has a really successful life or is whatever that you may perceive, remember that they're just a person at the end of the day. And when you get to know them and when you can open your heart and share vulnerably the story of like what us girls have just shared tonight with our stories, you know, you can connect with that person so much more. And maybe there's someone out there that needs that connection, the same as how Carly found Chloe and Chloe found me, and the lady that got me started on this journey has made a huge impact in my life. And that's really what we want these calls to be about, is having a safe space for everyone to talk and share and to bring up this. And if there's something that you want to talk about or you want to raise as a topic, you know, reach out to us girls, because that's what we're absolutely here to do. So Chloe, tell us, from your story before, how have you kind of found your flow of who you are today and, you know, really fell in love with and accepted the person that you are?
Okay, so basically there was just like this big shift, and you know, it was after I met you and we just connected so well. And I think I always just needed that someone to let everything go and explain the way that I was feeling. And it was kind of through this stage that, you know, I had suffered so badly with my eating disorder and food controlling my life, and also my IBS. My IBS was something that I didn't realize, you know, how much of an impact it had on me. So when I got control of my IBS through our amazing whole food products, things started to shift. I started to crave better food. I started to feel better in myself. And through that, it was just a whole journey in one. I started to obviously use our amazing ebooks that we had, which, you know, there was all these amazing ones about daily rituals and self-love and whole foods and really just nourishing your body from the inside out. And it was just this, I swear, I feel like it was just one day that I was like, that's it. Like, I am done. I am so done feeling this way. And, you know, it was just a big shift from there. And it was just one thing after another, step by step. And that's the thing, is that it's not one big jump. It's step by step every single day. Just these small, tiny steps that you can take to get to where, you know, you want to be. And trust me, like, the journey's never going to be finished. It's always going to keep going. There's still days that that little voice comes in my head, but I've been able to control it enough and do the things that I do every day to really pull myself back, to feel grounded and to appreciate what I have and who I am. So, you know, that's obviously the thing that I'm going to share with you guys. So all of you that are on here, I'm going to obviously share that the ebook, my personal ebook that I have made, which is my daily rituals. And it's amazing how these simple steps can make such a big impact in your life, because these are the things that I have done that have gotten me to where I am. You know, there's a few things here and there that have been tweaked a little bit since I've made that ebook, because it was probably about a year ago now. So it's very much the same, but there's a few different things. You know, basically every morning I get up and I read my mission statement, which is something that I've written to myself. It's a letter to myself, telling myself how grateful I am, how beautiful I am, and what my purpose is of being here on this earth every single day. And that has been a massive shift for me as well. Following on from that as well, at night, before my meditation, before bed, I also write in my journal, which is just, you know, how my day went, what I'm grateful for. And it's not just the good things that I'm grateful for, it's the bad things. Like, you really have to tap into the things that made you change, or the way that you had to kind of react on something. Like, you know, I'm glad that this went bad today, because it made me really come back and be present and think, I'm grateful for that, because it made me think this way or feel this way. So that's obviously, yeah, a bit of how I've gotten to where I am. And as I said, it's always going to be a constant journey. I'm never going to be done. But I think that's the beauty of it, is just shedding back those layers one day at a time to really loving who you are. So I can't wait to share my ebook with you guys. And like Caitlin said at the start, I would really love to hear feedback, you know, after even a week of implementing these steps every single day, and just letting me know if there's a shift in the way that you think or you feel. And also know that, yeah, us girls are here for you. Reach out to us and chat to us if you need anything as well.
Yes, and I've just put in the comment section there as well. Use our hashtag, the Empowered Clique. So whether you came to our event a couple of weeks ago at the brunch, or you're coming to our brunch, which I'm going to talk about now, use that hashtag when you're using your face mask, you're doing a berry face mask from our capsules, whether you are taking some time for yourself to meditate, you know, post about that and use our hashtag so we can really see what you guys are doing. That's probably the best way we can track what our little clique is up to and what everyone's doing as a collective, is just following through that hashtag on Facebook and Instagram. So our upcoming brunch, get your pen and paper ready in your diaries. Our upcoming brunch is the 3rd of November, which we are freaking pumped about, because we have some secret goodies for you. Something that Carly, Chloe and I absolutely love is giving. So at every brunch, each brunch, we have different ideas and different themes. So this brunch theme is going to follow on from what we've done with self-love. 3rd of November. Did I say that right? Yep. I just saw Chloe's comment.
No, yeah, I did. I said 3rd of, yeah, I just wrote it on there so I just wrote the date.
So then we love giving. So at each brunch, we're going to do a different theme. This theme is going to follow on from this Zoom call about self-love. We're going to go through a little ebook, a little journal exercise. We're going to kind of like really get to know each other, and that's the whole purpose of this. So that's on the 3rd of November at 9:30 a.m. We're going to enjoy a beautiful set menu brunch, which is like a little breakfast entree and then our main meal. All the ticket information is going to be in the comment section right now. I've just posted it. And we also have a Facebook event group. So if you think that you have a girlfriend or a family member that really needs to hear about this or really needs to open herself up to some more friendships and be part of something, bring them to the brunch, because meeting face to face is the best thing ever. You get to see our vibe, you get to see what we're about. Hopefully you think we're super authentic and we are who we say we are with this collective, this clique, because that's exactly what we want to do, is be as transparent as we possibly can, and obviously share about our beautiful products and our beautiful business that we have as well. Chloe, Carly, is there anything you guys want to finish on?
No, I think we've said it. Thank you to has jumped on, and for you, Carly, sharing your story. It's amazing when you are in a clique like this, and Caitlin, just when you said before that Carly found me and I found you, it's such a beautiful thing, and it's really amazing, and that's really what now I've come down to it. Like, we want to be that someone who that girl has found, and I can't wait to see what we can create with this amazing clique. And I think we're going to really start something here in a movement where women just feel totally empowered and loved. So I'm very excited for what's to come.
Totally. Keyword empowered. That's what we want you guys to feel from this. So Chloe will share the ebook on our event page. You guys can jump back onto the Facebook event, download that ebook and get started as of tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
All right. Love you, beautiful ladies. Thank you for taking the time and being here with us.
Bye. Mwah.